What is up, guys? Welcome back, and I think this is episode 3 of the Polo air suspension and general project build. I think that's probably important to note, actually, is that all these videos aren't necessarily going to be about the air suspension build, because there's a lot of other stuff going on with this car, mainly cleaning and tidying up and making it look nice. And today I thought I'd go over what I've been doing in the engine bay. Now, I've already touched upon a few things that I've done to the car in this engine bay, which is mainly this, which was the water bottle. The water reservoir. Obviously I cleaned all that up and got all the mold out of it, which came up really nicely. And I think, as I've already mentioned in my other video, I have a video about how I clean that out, so check out my archive. You'll be able to find that one because my archive's not very big right now. So I've had to take that out again because one of the things that I've done today is I've taken the radiator cover off the back because that was showing a bit of rust, and that's going to get cleaned up and resprayed. I've also cleared up the coil pack and I've put a new bracket on. Now, my mate who's got some cars in here as well, he had a coil pack, but he fried it, so he had the clamp for his, and that saved me sorting all mine out. So I'll put in some footage of me fitting that right now.
I love that how you say when it's exactly what your body needs.
Yeah.
Literally feel your body going, thank you.
I've got a new tube here, so this was from Heritage Parts. Really cheap, and I actually cut that in half, so I've got another one again, so I can keep that as a spare, which is really good. I sprayed this with high temperature spray. I don't know if that's actually necessary for this bit. That's just heat from the exhaust manifold that comes up here, and I think that's to help the choke. I'm not sure, because it's got an automatic choke on this. If anyone knows why this pulls heat from the radiator, let me know. But I think that dumps it into the carb and just gives it some hot air to play with. Or that could go to the cabin, I'm not really sure. Either way, I painted that. There's actually a little nozzle. You can just see the attachment for it here. There's a little nozzle which protrudes off that. I've sprayed that as well, but it didn't really matter too much because it's ended up being covered up. But that's looking really nice. I had done the rocker in the same silver as this, but with the black, silver, and then silver again. I really didn't like the way that that looked. So that's gone back to being sprayed, and that's going black. And one thing that happened when we're taking the radiator cover off was that we couldn't get it off, basically, because the dizzy was in the way. So we took the dizzy off, and this really looks like it needs a service. Now you can see the wear on the inside of here. And if we pop this off as well, you can just see that, generally speaking, it's not looking in very good condition. So luckily these are very cheap serviceable parts, so I will be ordering a new dizzy cap and one of these as well. I think that's called the arm, I'm not really sure. But yeah, that's getting replaced as well. Like I say, really cheap, affordable parts, so that'll be nice. And that will be nice and clean on the end of there as well. And apart from that, it's basically been quite a bit of degreasing. Been degreasing all these, getting all the muck off them down there, as much as I can get to, basically. It's not perfect, and hopefully at some point when this car's all running and back together again, I may actually try and pressure wash this from quite a decent height. One of the things which is really annoying is all this stuff that's from the previous owner. It looks like some kind of sealant that's been used inside. If anyone knows how to get this off the paint safely, please let me know in the comments below, because that looks really shit. I'd love to get rid of all that in there. Doesn't look nice at all. The other side, obviously, it hasn't got any, and I've cleaned that up a little bit and it's looking good, but this side is covered in it, so I don't know what it is. I think it's probably some kind of sealant, but yeah, if anyone knows how to get that off easily, please let me know. And apart from that, you can see the oil filter, which is probably going to get replaced anyway. I've given that a quick clean. The alternator's had a quick clean, and generally speaking, we're close to getting this all back together and looking nice, apart from the radiator cover. I just need to sort that out and spray that. So I'll take you over and actually do another update about the paint parts that I'm doing, or the parts that I'm painting. That's probably the better way of saying it. And you can see the engine rocker cover and a few other things that I'm painting as well. So here we are over at the paint booth, which is absolutely just a mess, basically. We really need to tidy all this stuff up, but it's not really a paint booth. It's just where I'm hanging drying this stuff. So we've got the control arms here. They've all been painted. They're feeling like they're almost dry, which is good. Both of those there, they're going to look really nice, and the poly bushings in them are going to look brilliant. Here's the engine rocker cover, which has been given another spray. So that's black now. That's going to look really nice in the engine. It was originally the high temp silver underneath. Hopefully we don't need high temp paint on that, but it has got a layer underneath. So worst case scenario, it could bubble off, but I can always give that a repaint if needs be. And then we've got the carriers, which I'm just basically putting more and more layers on. There's a few bits of this which I'm going to have to sand back again, like these places here. I think they're just supposed to be metal because that's where the shoes go into. So I'll sand all that back once it's done. It was just easier than masking it all off. And one more there. Yeah, so we've got all that stuff hanging up, drying, looking a bit unsightly. But yeah, that's almost all dry now, so that's really, really good news. So really happy with the progress of this engine bay. I think it's looking so much better than it was originally, especially this pipe. That just made such a difference because the old one is an absolute mess. This is the old one here, look, it's absolutely in bits. I don't even know how that's actually even happened, but yeah. And that's the spare part that I've got, so I've got another one again, basically, that I can use at some point if I need to. And this is the radiator cover, which I'm going to be spraying as well. It's just really this top bit. That's the only bit you can really see in the engine bay, so that's all I'm going to touch up. Just going to sand that back a bit and get that a layer of paint on that, and that'll be looking much better as well. And finally, we've got these two little radiator brackets. Now these just go onto the body and into these little slots here. They were looking a bit tatty as well, so they've come out. I've sanded those down, sanded them back, got all the horrible rust and paint off it. I'm not going to do the underside because you don't see that, but that's pretty much what it was looking like before. So you can imagine, as soon as you open the engine bay and just see two things like this, not very nice, and I like to have things nice and tidy. I'm trying to get this as tidy as I can. Wheeled those down again with the same wheel that I showed you in the previous video. Just going to give them a lick of paint and they will look way better as well. So they're just going to sit nicely. One there, one there. They'll be the same black as this and they're going to look really nice as well. So thanks for tuning in again. Apologies that these videos don't really have me actually doing that much in them. They're kind of just roundups, but it's so hectic trying to film and do stuff at the same time. So hopefully these periodic updates are useful and I'll be back with more soon. But yeah, apart from that, that's the progress with the engine bay. I'm really happy with how this is coming along. I think this is going to look really nice when it's finished. Just a few little bits to get back together and we're going to be flying. Also, one more thing before I finish the video, I actually reached out onto a VDub group and asked about square headlights. Someone has got back to me and said that they have them. So I don't know if you've seen my first video, but I want to do a square headlight conversion on the front of this. That's what the old Mark 1 VW Derbies had. The Polo Derby, which was basically like this, but a saloon at the back. They had square headlights and they look really, really nice. They look really aggressive. So I'm hoping I can get hold of those, then I just need the grille and that will look really, really nice. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you're interested in these videos, please subscribe because I'm releasing them once or twice a week at the moment and this project is coming along really nicely. So I wanted to just make sure some content about these cars is on YouTube because there doesn't seem to be anything really about the Polos, especially the bread vans, the kind of square backs as they're called. So yeah, thanks for watching and I'll be back with more content soon.